Sure.
I'm ready. Oh, I am ready. Shabbat Shalom, good
Shabbat
evening,
Shalom.
and good Shabbos. Welcome to everyone who is here in person, that's starting in the back row all the way up, and to everyone who's joining us by live stream. Warm welcome to the students from the confirmation class at First Presbyterian Church of Marietta, who are here with, I don't know the names of all your teachers, but Melissa Gilbert is the one who contacted us, so welcome. They are all the way in the back. Please make them feel welcome. And we've kind of given them a little quick tour of the Siddur so they know how to follow along. And we're going to start in the back, page 344, in the middle of the page, Shir Chadash.
Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Adonai, Shir Hadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Adonai, Shir Hadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
And we turn all the way back to page 2 for the candle lighting blessings. We will light the candles and welcome in Shabbat. And I invite Cynthia and Judy to come on down and light the candles.
Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us sing Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Before we move to Lecha Dodi, I wanted to share a poem that I heard yesterday in my spiritual poetry writing class by one of my classmates. Her name is Lynn Palumbo. And when she finished reading it, you'll see why. I asked her to read it again. Sometimes we comment on each other's work. And I said, could you read that again? It sounded like a prayer that I want to share with my congregation on Friday night. And so she sent it to me with her permission. It is called Prayer to the Source of All Light. Light a candle for the darkness, strike a match, that it may show your love for us made visible. Amen. And now we turn to pages 20 and 21, and for the benefit of our visitors, we will sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Oh, I don't have that written down anymore, but it's in there. Of Lecha Dodi. This is a prayer that we sing. It's from the 16th century mystics. They would actually on the hilltops in Tzfat in Israel, they would wear white clothes and they would walk out to greet the Sabbath bride. So at the very end, for verse 9, or the last verse, we'll stand up and we'll turn and face the doors in anticipation of the arrival of the Sabbath bride.
Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad ishmi anu echad echad Adonai echad Shemo echad Hashem u'tiferet v'nitina. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lekuvenecha Kiki mikor hameracha Mirosh mikedem nizuka So machazi b'mater fashetila. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva over chumi uri, uri shidaberi. Yevod Adonai alek lekla. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shalom ateret ba'ala Am b'simcha v'tola Toch emunei am segula Bo'ichala Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela.
You may be seated. The last two Psalms, a Psalm for Shabbat and Psalm 93, are found on pages 22 and 23. And I'm just going to read you an interpretive adaptation of Psalm 93, which will conclude the introductory part of our service. God acts within every moment and creates the world with each breath. God speaks from the center of the universe in the silence beyond all thought. Mightier than the crush of a thunderstorm, mightier than the roar of the sea, is God's voice silently speaking in the depths of a listening heart. We rise in body or in spirit and turn to page 26 for the Reader's Kaddish as we transition to the evening service.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
B'yama divrach erutei, yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon of yomechon, uv'chayedechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala, ba'gala, uv'izman kahariv, v'meru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam le'omaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabat, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal, shemei l'kudesh abarichu. Le'ilal min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damin ran b'yoma, v'meru, amen.
We remain standing for the call to worship, Baruch Hu, page 28.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La, 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 la,
We remain standing and turn to page 34 for Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivon Achato. Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivon Achato. Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. We'll continue with Thou Shalt Love, sort of on page 36.
Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in thy heart, shall be in thy heart. Thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, when thou risest up, when thou risest up. bind them for a sign upon the high path, and they shall be for frontlets between the hind eyes. Thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon the high gates, and upon the high gates. And ye shall remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Following the Shema, we have two prayers. The first is a prayer or a song for redemption. We'll turn to page 342 for Miriam's song and Micha Mocha.
And the women dancing with their timbrels and followed a Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to one whom we've exalted, Miriam, and the women dance and dance all night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove which wonders sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. The women touched the spirit as she danced towards the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed a Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to one whom we've exalted, Miriam, and the women dance and dance all night long. When Miriam stood upon the shore and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she took into belief. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed a Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted, Miriam, and the women dance and dance all night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang and praised it right. We've just left you a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed a Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to one whom we've exalted, Miriam, and the women dance and dance all night long. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, micha mocha ne'edav hakodesh, Torah ilodo seifele, Torah ilodo seifele.
And our second blessing after the Shema is a prayer for peace, Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu L'Shalom, Amideinu Shomenu, Ephraim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu L'Shalom, Amideinu Shomrenu, Ephraim. Save
as we start thinking about the Sabbath Amidah, we begin with a prayer that I think picks up our pace a little bit, gets us into a celebrating mood. Vishamru, page 44. No kids twirlers, so you're on your own, adults.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'Torah Berit Olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'Torah Berit Olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael Oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'Torah Berit Olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'Torah Berit Olam. Uv'hayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'Torah Berit Olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'Torah Berit Olam.
In just a moment, we'll rise in body or in spirit for the Shabbat Amidah. Amidah means standing. So this is a standing prayer if you are able. And we'll sing together pages 46 through 52. So just keep following along. And then there'll be some time for quiet personal meditation. Page 46, we rise.
Adonai sifatei tivtaku fi tahilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imachot, U'mevi Gula Lifnei V'nekem, L'man Shemo B'Yakava, Melekotzu Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav L'Koshiach, Mashif HaRuach HaMorid HaGeshem, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Zomev Noflim V'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekaye Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'agivurot, Umido Mehelach, Melech Meimit Umechaye, Umatz Me'ak Yeshua, Benemanatav L'chayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol.
Page 52.
Atah Kadosh, Bishim HaKadosh Ukdoshim Bechol Yom Yahaleluk HaSelah Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, and your name is holy. Those who strive to be holy declare your glory day by day. Blessed is our God, blessed is the one, O world ablaze with splendor. Atah Kadosh, Bishim HaKadosh, Ukdoshim Bechol Yom, Yahaleluk HaSelah, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue with prayers of the heart, silent meditation. When you are finished with your silent meditation, you may be seated.
We are gifts, and we are blessings, and we are history and song. We are hope, and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words, and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Ledor nagid gadlecha, ledor we protect this chain, from generation to generation. Ledor these lips will praise your name. Looking back on the journey that we carry in our heart, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would depart. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way, and the words that bring us meaning we will have the strength to say. Dor nagid gadlecha, dor we protect this chain, from generation to generation. Dor these lips will praise your name.
It's one of my favorites. In a moment, we'll recite the Mishaberach for healing, a prayer for all those who are in need of healing, on page 253. Before we recite the prayer, I'm going to read the list of all of those in the congregation who are in need or connected to our congregation in need of healing. And I'll pause at the end if anyone has names of folks who are not on the list that they want to add at that time. We're keeping in mind this evening Harvey Adelsky, Sherry Alexander, Lucille Alina, Gary Atkins, Richard Barker, Betty Berlin, Lynn Birmingham, Ray Clark, Bruce Cohen, Isidore Cohen, Nicholas Catrone, Mary Davis, Stephen Despens, Clark DeVoskin, Mitch Earl, Alan Eisen, Carrie Ehrlich, Aaron and Roz Feingold, Laura Florence, Bobby Fredrickson, Lauren Friedman, Max Gans, Tom Gorgon, Rick Hack, George Campbell Hamilton, Frederick Herman, Braden Hink, Laura Jacoby, Maria Javier, John Jenkins, Linda Jenkins, Shannon Jenkins, Charles Jones, Lila Kaminer, Jackie Capstein, Bob Kershaw, Marilyn Krasnov, Cindy Levine, Ansley Levy, Ken Levy, Marcia Levy, Dorothy London, Asa Luo, Liz Lyman, Lisa Macklin, Paul Melnick, Arnold Meyer, Esta Mitchell, Phyllis Mix, Lowell Morrow, Shana Batmoshe, Greg Mosher, Arthur Newman, Joyce Newman, Lynn Prisant, Kathy Rasnick, Marjorie Romes, Deborah Rowan, Peyton Rowland, Norman Rosenblatt, Sherry Rosenblum, Barry Savage, Patty Savage, Lisa Schaefer, Brian Schneider, Eric Schuster, Lee Sexton, Nancy Shallett, Carter Silk, Nicole Aronson Silverman, Debbie Singerman, David Skolny, Arthur Slutza, Linda Spitzer, Brenda Wadler, Dr. John Sid Williams, Dr. Walter Wolf, Faye Yeager, Yarden Meir Ben Yitzchak, Paul Zale, Kenneth Gray, Susan Cohen, Mira Shoshana Bat Rivka, Aharon Ben Yocheved, Leah Bat Mindel, Yona Bitzalel Ben Chava Shoshana, Zelda Ita Bat Malka. If there are any other names, please say them now. Refuah Shlema, page 253.
Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And we continue to recite a prayer for peace in Israel during wartime. You'll find them on the blue cards inside your prayer books. Please join me in the English. Rock and Redeemer of the people of Israel, guardian of the covenant, bless and protect the state of Israel and all of her inhabitants. Guard this good land established with liberty, justice, and peace, as conceived by the prophets of Israel. Open the hearts and minds of all the leaders of the nation, her sons and her daughters, to guide them in the paths of peace and justice, with true strength and wisdom. Strengthen the hands of those who defend and protect our Holy Land, and crown their efforts with success, that they might establish your reign of righteousness, free from all oppression and fear. May the work of their hands be established, and the words of your prophets be fulfilled. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, nor shall they learn any more. Amen. We made it. So this week's Torah portion is sometimes read with last week's Parshat Vayakel, but this year is a leap year, so we read them separately. Parshat Pikudei is the last section, the last Torah reading in the book of Exodus. We are at the end of the book, and we are also going to be, this is the last time that I will be bringing you a teaching from the book Life Lessons from Recently Dead Rabbis, Chassidut for the People, because I've really been enjoying using it during Exodus, but I'm having a taste for something else. But one last time. So this is what happens in this week's Parsha really fast in 2 seconds. The actual work of building the Mishkan, the tabernacle, is completed. And then at God's command, Moses puts all of the vessels and furnishings into place. And then we are told at the end of the Parsha that God's presence fills the space. Amen. That's it. I mean, we're done, right? No. But before we celebrate the dedication of the new building, I want us to pause to notice something strange about the order of operations, because why should it be straightforward? It's Torah. So a few weeks ago, like a month ago, in Parshat Truma, when Moses is up on the mountain, God gave Moses very specific instructions about collecting all of the donated materials so that Bezalel and all of the artisans who were wise and skilled, they were to build the vessels, the ark, the table, the menorah, the altar, all of the things that would be needed for providing sacrifices to God, everything that was needed for the inner sanctuary, the Holy of Holies of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle. But last week in Parshat Vayakel, when they actually begin the building in chapter 36, Bezalel and the artisans begin by constructing the outer walls and the frames. And they only begin working on the table and the menorah and all the other furnishings and the vessels in chapters 37 and 38. And then it is reported in chapter 38:22 in the book of Exodus, Uvitzalel and Bezalel, Asa et kol asher tziva Adonai et Moshe. Bezalel made, or formed, all that God had commanded Moses. Now, this may be true that Bezalel did make all of the things that God commanded Moses way back 4 weeks ago when Moses was up on the mountain. But it doesn't seem that he made it all according to what God had commanded Moses, despite the volume and specificity of God's instructions to Moses. It is unclear whether Moses transmitted them correctly or incorrectly to Bezalel, but Bezalel begins, and the artisans, they begin by making the outer walls first and not the vessels, which is apparently how God commanded it to Moses. It's unclear. And so we have to turn to Rashi, who quotes the rabbis of the Talmud in an attempt to resolve this apparent contradiction. All that, kol asher, all that God commanded Moses, means even things that Moses didn't mention. Because Bezalel's own ideas were actually in agreement with what God had instructed Moses on Sinai, whether or not Moses reported them correctly when he got down off of the mountain. Did you all catch that? Because it says all that God commanded, that includes even the things that Bezalel, who was very wise and a skilled artisan, inferred from what Moses didn't say. So when Moses told Bezalel to make the vessels and the furnishings first, and afterwards to build the outer walls of the tabernacle, Bezalel said to him, Moses, it's customary in the world to construct a house and afterwards place the furnishings inside. I see that smile. I see you chuckling, even though I don't have my glasses on. Okay, so what does this have to do with the recently dead rabbis? So the Netivot Shalom, who is also known as the Slonomer Rebbe, who is actually more recently dead than the ones I've been quoting, he lived from 1911 until the year 2000 in Poland. So, and he's known, like many, by the name of the book. His most famous book is Netivot Shalom, which means Pathways of Peace. So the Pathways of Peace rabbi contemplated what could the reason Bezalel would have had for reversing Moses' given instructions. And he says that we are to find new meaning in this reversal. This is his teaching. We must create a framework for holiness, an atmosphere for spiritual elevation. So the construction of the physical sacred space is what inspires our desire to be holy. The construction of the physical space or container for God's presence and holiness, that has to come first. And Bezalel understood this because he was wise. He was Chacham Lev, wise of heart. Only then can we bring the vessels, our own souls, into the space that God will then occupy. So this sacred space that Bezalel and the artisans built first, that is the place where we can be enlightened and refreshed. Then, when we venture outside of that space into the world, we bring our souls with us, and we add holiness into all the places in the world that we go, that are outside, emanating. That holiness, that soulfulness emanates from the space, from the container that is built first to hold the vessels. So this is my prayer for us this Shabbat, the Shabbat that we end the book of Exodus, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Be strong, and we will all be strengthened. My prayer for us is that our souls will be enlightened and refreshed in our sacred space here. And then we will bring the holiness that we feel here in this space out into the world in the week ahead. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We turn now to page 282 in our Sidurim, and we will rise in body or in spirit for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latei kedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu greye haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam kelkenu kachem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar, v'chaya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
You may be seated for a moment. Before we recite the Mourner's Kaddish, we announce the names of our loved ones whose yahrzeits are observed this week. If you are here for the observance of the yahrzeit, the memorial, the date of someone's death, or if you are here in mourning, if you are recently bereaved, please rise when I recite the name of your loved one. First, I will read the anniversaries, the yahrzeit list for the week of March 15th. Stuart Ampel, Helen Aronoff, Blanche Bernstein, Jorny Brabant, Mari Brevoort, Saul Cohen, Annie Cooper, Gertrude Cotton, Gabriella Sarah Culver, Harry Delman, Helen Delman, Michael Dronzik, Anselm Feit, Kenneth Gold, Rena Golden, Bert Goldstein, Sidney Goodman, Harvey Goodstein, Fanny Hendler, Harold Hendler, Ruvain Kirschner, Helen Koch, Sadie Lerner, Jean Melnick, Rita Menken, Lisa Raskind, Bert Sabin, Irma Schiller, Fran Siegel, Jack Weiss, and Anna Williams. And on our 11-month Kaddish list, those who have recently passed: Philip Kaufman, Jessica Berkeley, Eva Rothstein, David Bemis, Henry Meininger, Bridget Paon, Dennis Lebo, Sandy Fay, Stephen Eckber, Ellen Marcia Katz, Sydney Schneider, Melvin Kiner, Francis Reif, Sandra Slutza, Mary Thoburn, Erica Goldstone, James Corley, David Reckman, Judith Siegel, Norman Spitzer, Joanne Hankins, Helene Holtzman, and Barbara Rusin-Piesek. If you are not already standing, it is our custom to stand for all of us, if you are able, to support our friends who are in mourning, and together we recite Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah, B'yalma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei techol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmeo maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. We have some brief announcements, I think, from Sandy Davis. Come on down. The mic is over there.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Next week, it's time to celebrate Purim. Yay! Join us Friday night at 8 p.m. for a brief Shabbat service, followed by Susical the Jusical Purim Spiel. We know it will be a rhyming good time. Info on our Purim Masquerade Party on Saturday night and Purim Carnival on Sunday are in your handout. You should have gotten one. Join our Temple Kol Emeth friends and family at our Avodah Off the Square Evening of Honor at Glover Park Brewery on May 4th at 6 p.m. as we celebrate Craig Aronoff and Pam and Byron Spanger for their long-standing service to Temple Kol Emeth. Tickets to this fabulous evening are available now and will go quickly. Order yours today at kolemeth.net. Share your thanks for these leaders of TKE in the Avodah Tribute Journal. Tribute messages are a great way to show your personal gratitude for our honorees and support them and TKE. Submissions are due by April 1st. Order yours at kolemeth.net today. If you're not able to join us in person, please consider making a donation towards the future of TKE. Please join us after services for our oneg in the social hall. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All right, one last time. There are still a few, very few spaces left at the Table of Abraham program this Sunday evening. If you are interested in joining our friends from the Atlantic Institute for an iftar meal, that's the break the fast that Muslims eat during the month of Ramadan, which will be preceded by a discussion of fasting as spiritual practice in the Abrahamic faiths by Father Dan Fleming of St. Thomas Aquinas Church and Mr. Kamal Karasu from the Atlantic Institute and yours truly. you must, no exceptions. There are only a few spaces left, and we do want to fill the table. So you must RSVP by noon tomorrow. I mean, you can like go on your phone and RSVP, after we finish here. The way to do that is to visit the calendar on the TKE website. Click on the event, which is Sunday. So click on 317, the event Sunday. It's called Table of Abraham. And that will take you to a link to Ticket Leap, which is the way, it's free, but we have to make reservations so that all of our friends at the Atlantic Institute know how much delicious food to bring for the iftar dinner. After Kiddush and Motzi, as you exit, don't forget to put up your sidurim. And to our students who are visiting, friends in the very back, please join us in the social hall for a light dessert. And if you have any questions or you want to give me any notes on anything that you saw, we can do that there and then. Okay, so we rise for Kiddush and Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen. L'chaim.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.